The Singapore Pokemon League has organised an Eevee Challenge Gym Battle, and I'm taking part in it later today. The Eevee Challenge is a new event that requires participants to include 4 or more Eevee or Eeveelution cards in their decks in order to compete. These are all official events that are happening throughout the month of March and will be held at various shops on multiple dates. I'll be taking part in the one hosted by Happyland Collectibles, and I am super stoked for it. Personally, I've been on hiatus from playing competitive Pokemon TCG because I've been just burnt out from the format, and I'm just waiting for a rotation to happen before I get back into the game. But these Eevee events just looked way too fun for me to miss out on, and it offers a chance at slightly more casual gameplay, which I'm all for. If you're wondering what deck I'm going with today, it's Lost Box Leafeon. Leafeon is my favorite Eeveelution by far, and it works pretty well with the Lost Box engine, something which I'm pretty comfortable with seeing how I've played Lost Box Giratina and Lost Box Regidrago in the past. Also, my good friend K9 is taking part later as well. He's playing a Sylveon deck, and we were actually over at my place last night and we were just playtesting and just practicing for tonight. I'm not really sure what decks the other players are gonna bring, but I do know that the recent Eevee Challenge event held at Bricks Play a few days back was won by a Lugia deck. No idea what Eevee or Eeveelution card the guy put in his Lugia deck, but I think I can sort of expect something akin to it later on. As far as using an actual Eevee deck goes, I think I'm expecting to see Jolteon and Umbreon, maybe even Espeon, and maybe another Leafeon deck. Who knows? Either way, I'm just in this for the fun of it, and I'm really curious to see how creative the other players can get with their decks. Anyways, right now, I'm still at work, so I just gotta wait for work to end, and then I'm gonna make my way down to Happyland Collectibles, meet up with K9, and then we'll just see how the competition goes. We're almost at the place. We're just outside Golden Landmark now, having a quick bite. Just bought a Snickers. K9 is inside making a coffee. So I'm just gonna wait for him, and then we're gonna go over to Happyland. Are you ready? I wanna be the very best. Dun, 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 dun. We are reaching Happyland's Collectibles. Right, I think some of the other players are already here. I'm not too sure who else we're waiting on for, because I think there's about 6 players who are participating in the tournament, and nonetheless, just waiting for it to start. And the entry fee is just you buying a pack of anything at the shop itself, so I might get one of the Crown Zenith mini tins just because I've gotten pretty good hits from those. And I saw a Blastoise playmat from, I think, the 25th anniversary set, so I might pick that up as well because it looks super sick. So yeah, let's just see how it goes.
Inside got Embryon 2, Sylveon 2, Glaceon 2, Leafeon 2, and Sylveon 2, yeah.
Come on, what is it behind the rock lava?
Oh, nice.
My winner can choose one. Winner can choose one more.
Oh, sweet. Nice. K9, so how was it?
I had 3 prata kosong, and all the opponent eat lah, not I eat lah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good experience lah. Honestly, I came with no expectations, but at the end of the day, I think it's very different playing with friends and against like strangers. And I'm just fortunate that those strangers are very nice to me. They allow me to play, take my time. They even like let me to replay my move because they know I screwed up.
They let you take
which is like I feel that thankful. I misplayed a lot of times out of like not even nervous because I'm too trained. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to play 8 games in a row. Like second game I'm screwed. I could have won the last game though, but I misplayed again because fatigue. But yeah, good experience. I'll play more, but I don't play meta decks. I'll play like Eeveelution things again.
Troll
Super
decks.
fun.
Troll decks are fun.
Yeah, so put them in here. Yeah.
Macam. Alright, it is the next day. I thought of doing this summary yesterday night when I got home, but frankly speaking, I just got too tired and I was still hungry because even though K9, Pudaman and I went out to find dinner after we left Happyland Collectibles, everywhere that we went were either closed or freaking packed. So we just decided to call it a night and just went home. Again, next day I'm just gonna give you my summary of basically what went down yesterday, even though it's pretty straightforward. It is a pretty casual tournament, so that was basically what happened. It wasn't anything too stringent. There weren't any like judges around, and in fact, we didn't even have to like submit a deck list like we would if we were to join like a town league or a regional league. Basically, we just waited for all the participants to arrive, and then all we did was a very basic deck check to just make sure that everyone has the minimum requirements to compete for the Eevee Challenge, which is to have at least 4 or more Eevee cards, whether it's an Eevee, Eeveelution, doesn't matter whether it's a single prizer or a VMAX. As long as you meet those requirements, you are allowed to compete in the Eevee Challenge. And then the entry fee once again was a minimum of 1 booster pack. And I know yesterday I mentioned that I was considering getting one of the Crown Zenith mini tins. I decided to save a couple bucks and just get a single Crown Zenith booster pack, just because they were selling loose packs for like $8.50, and that is hands down the cheapest Crown Zenith pack that I've seen sold around. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get one pack, and I got the playmat as well, which in hindsight, I believe this is the playmat that comes from the 25th anniversary Chinese boxes, which I actually have a sealed Blastoise one right over here. I believe this is the playmat that comes in that box, so at least I'm glad I don't have to open mine just to get this, because I really wanted the playmat and finally decided to pull the trigger. So yeah, as I was saying, I bought one Crown Zenith booster pack. I didn't really pull anything great though. I'm just gonna show you the pulls right now. Nothing much, but K9 did pull something pretty sweet. I don't remember what the card in the reverse holo spot was, but I do know that he pulled the holofoil etched psychic energy, so that's really cool. So yeah, once we did those, the games commenced. So they paired us up. There were 3 tables basically, because there were only 6 participants. So my first round, unfortunately, I went against the guy who brought Lugia. So yeah, my first game was against Lugia V-Star. The Eeveelution cards that he was using were Umbreon V and VMAX, and then Sylveon V and VMAX. So I'm not entirely sure what his strategy was to have those in the Lugia deck. I can see how Umbreon VMAX might come in handy, but Sylveon VMAX, I don't know, man. If I'm being completely honest, it just felt like he put those cards in there just to meet the minimum requirements of the competition, but still be able to use like a really good deck. But hey, he's not breaking any rules, so I can't really fault him for that. He's just in there to win, and that's exactly what he did. So yeah, my first game I did lose clearly against Lugia V-Star. I didn't really have a good counter. I wasn't able to set up my Raikou quick enough to knock him out, because he set up freaking fast. But to be fair, I think I had a pretty fair game against him. I didn't break or anything. I did set up my cards pretty well as well, and I was down to getting, I can't remember whether 1 or 2 prizes, so I was pretty close. It was a pretty fair game, I have to say that. So yeah, my first game against Lugia V-Star, lost. Second game, I went up against another guy who was using a very similar engine to mine. So he was using a Lost Box as well, and he was technically also using a Leafeon, but he was using a single prizer Leafeon, which was very interesting, because the card is kinda similar to Leafeon VMAX, just not as good, so I don't really know why he used that single prizer Leafeon, but it's still pretty cool to see. But his main attacker is still Giratina, so it's technically a Lost Box Giratina with a single prizer Leafeon in there. I still think it's a pretty cool deck. Another pretty close game, but yeah, I managed to win. That was pretty cool. I managed to set up really well, just knock him out one by one. And then came to game 3. So yeah, game 3 I went up against a 9-year-old who was using Inteleon Jolteon VMAX. So I think this was the deck that I feared the most, because I know Jolteon is, for one, sets up really quick. Secondly, he was using an Inteleon engine. So if you guys didn't know, Jolteon VMAX's attack is it deals 100 damage to your active, and then if your opponent has any bench Pokemon with damage counters on it, it deals another 100 damage to that very bench Pokemon as well. So him using quick shooting Inteleon was a genius move, and he even had Galarian Zigzagoon to help as well. So he just needed to snipe a little bit of damage to my single prizer Pokemon, and then deal that second 100 damage to just knock out pretty much any single prizer Pokemon. So that was really insane. He knocked out my Comfys, he knocked out my Raikus. He just cleaned off the board. And secondly, I wasn't able to set up anything. I opened with a Leafeon, didn't have my Comfys or anything, and I just could not set up. I bricked very, very hard for that last game, and you know what, it's fine. It happens. These are just best of one things, so you just gotta admit defeat when it comes to you, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. That's all I'm just gonna say. So yeah, by the end of it, I came home with a 1-2 score, which again is totally fine. It was 3 games. I went in with a deck that I actually really enjoyed using. And if anything, I would actually consider using this deck for like future town leagues and stuff. So let's just see how it goes. And yeah, I think that's really cool because I pretty much expected to see all the evolutions that I thought I would come up against, which were Jolteon, Umbreon, Espeon. I technically did see Leafeon, just not in the sense that I thought it would be. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, and afterwards we just collected our prize, which was a free evolution card at random, and I got the Umbreon VMAX, which I think is really cool. I don't have this. I do not mind having this at all. So yeah, this is a really cool addition to the collection. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up my day at this event. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what deck you would have ran if you were to take part in this Eevee Gym Challenge thingy, whatever they call it. Also, if you guys are wondering, this shirt is in my merch store. This is one that I designed myself. So if you are interested to get this and a few other designs, I've got Charizard, Venusaur, and a few other metal-inspired Pokemon t-shirts up on my merch store as well. I'm gonna include a link down below, so do check it out. And yeah, hopefully in the near future, I can take part in more leagues and make more of these vlogs. So if you're interested, do subscribe. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube nonsense, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.